Welcome to William Penn News Now. I'm Gib Whitlatch. If you have been to a William Penn basketball game this season, no doubt you have heard the Penn Zone. We wanted to find out a little more about the return of the university's lively student section.
Behind every great basketball team is a supportive fan base. This year, the Penn Zone has been at every game cheering for their team. We asked some of the members of Penn Zone about their return to the sidelines.
Well, where I came from in Albee High School, we had a really good student section. You know, everybody's standing up. We probably had 100 out of a 400 student high school. When I came here, we didn't really have that. And especially this year, you know, as the basketball team's getting better and better and moving up in the rankings, I felt like we almost needed to start something. You know, we needed that.
We asked Coach Henry what he thought about Penn Zone. The Penn Zone is part of our team. They bring an extra energy that we love and thrive from. I love those kids.
I talked with Coach Henry, and he said he really appreciates it, you know, and the whole basketball team appreciates it, you know, and we're doing something funny. We see them over there laughing, you know, at the end of games and whatnot.
Went up to Coach and said, "Hey, congratulations on conference champs." And Coach Henry said, "Well, thank you, and congratulations to you." And he's like, "Well, what do you mean?" Coach said, "Well, you're just as much a part of the team as we are, so congratulations on being conference champs."
Penn Zone members have plans to travel to the national tournament to support the team during their quest for the national championship. William Penn reporters Drew Ruggles and Lucas Burns spoke to Professor Jim Hoeksma about a little-known piece of equipment in the Industrial Technology Department.
3D printers have been a hot topic in the news lately. Their recent popularity may have led you to believe that they were a new technology. What you may not have known is that William Penn University's Industrial Tech program has had one for over 4 years. Professor of Industrial Tech Jim Hoeksma fills us in on what a 3D printer is.
It allows us to take a computer-generated model, a three-dimensional, what we call a solid model, and download it from the computer to this machine, which will physically create a plastic part for us. Even for individual parts that don't mate with something else, you know, it gives you something you can hold in your hand and you can physically, you know, see how it's going to work.
The 3D printer is capable of creating complex shapes and even movable parts. A means of production like this has great benefits in the world of industrial technology.
You know, I can create a part on my computer, create a model of it, and the same day have a solid plastic part in my hand, whereas in the past that would have taken several days, weeks, to actually send out the drawings, get someone to machine it, send it back. And so the whole turnaround time on design to actual finishing your prototypes is getting shorter and shorter all the time.
As Professor Hoeksma said, these objects must first be created using 3D modeling software on a computer.
Everything used to be drawings. You know, I would hand you a drawing, you would take it to the shop and build it. Now I create this model, a solid model of the part, which you can rotate, you can look at from any direction. You can do a lot of analysis on it. I email this to you, you download it to your machine makes it, and there are no drawings.
3D printers are becoming more and more common in industrial tech fields, and having access to one is something that Penn students should appreciate.
You're seeing enough of them in industry that the educational institutions want students to have some experience with them. And so Penn is a unique school in that we're a small liberal arts college, but we have an industrial tech program. The other players in this field are Iowa State, you know, UNI, places that have got lots of money, and so, you know, it's not a big deal for them to have them, to have a system like this, whereas, you know, for us, it's significant.
For William Penn News Now, I'm Lucas Burns.
The 2012-2013 season for William Penn basketball has been one of the most exciting in school history. And with March Madness right around the corner, it's time to start talking about playoffs. For the first time ever, the NAIA will be announcing its brackets for the Division I and Division II National Basketball Championships online. Fans can watch this broadcast by going to the NAIA Facebook page where it will be streamed live. The Division II bracket will be announced tonight at 7:15 p.m. Our statesmen are expected to be the top seed this year in the Division II tournament, so log on and support WPU Hoops. To get the direct link to the NAIA's Facebook page, visit the Statesman status at wordpress.com. In other sports news, the William Penn University women's indoor track and field team received this year's NAIA Women's Champions of Character Team Award. The recipient is selected from a group of nominees and is awarded to teams that have displayed great character and sportsmanship. William Penn University teamed up with the Mississippi Valley Regional Blood Center in a donation event last week.
William Penn University encouraged students to go out last Wednesday to give blood to the Mississippi Valley Regional Blood Center, who held the donation event at Penn Central Mall from 2 to 7 p.m. The Blood Center services 85 hospitals in several states, including Illinois, Iowa, Missouri, and Wisconsin. The center collects donors' blood for more than 4,000 blood drives each year. The head nurse at the Oskaloosa Blood Donation discussed steps taken of those giving blood.
Take a photo ID and we put their information into our system, and then like their address and everything. Many physical with their, we check their iron, and we do their blood pressure and temp. We have certain criteria that it has to be. They ask some health history questions and some travel questions, and if they pass through that, then they go to the donor bed.
If you're interested in giving blood, it is encouraged to eat well, hydrate, and rest prior to donating to avoid any risk of feeling faint.
We go to high school drives, and usually those are first, they're 16, first-time donors, and they don't eat well, and yeah, we do have donors that pass out, unfortunately.
This has been Lauren Frank for WPNN.
Well, the Phonathon is like...
If you're interested in giving blood, you can contact the donation center at 1-800-747-5401, or you can email them at www.bloodcenterimpact.org. Wave number 2 of the popular Humans vs. Zombie game is back on Penn campus with more gore, missions, and prizes for students and staff interested in playing. An informational meeting hosted by the WPU Computer Club is set to kickstart the sign-up this evening, February 27th at 7 p.m. in Penn Hall, room 105. The game itself is not scheduled to start until after spring break, which is March 4th through 8th for William Penn students. The William Penn University Phonathon isn't in full swing yet, but there are always calls being made. First-year students Miranda Spurgeon tells us a little bit more about it.
Well, the Phonathon is like, we call alumni and friends of William Penn, and we see if they would like to donate to William Penn as scholarships or the annual fund. They can send it to a certain department that they prefer, like the ed department, or they want sports like basketball or football. Yeah, every dollar counts.
Miranda goes on to tell us what the Phonathon is. If you'd like to donate to William Penn, contact Jill Dursky at durskyje@wmpenn.edu. That's it for this week William Penn News Now. Thanks for watching. I'm Gib Whitlatch.